Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So we are still on the PTR server, and we're still looking at some of the new units, because this time I wanted to take a look at the Janissaries, the new 3-star musket unit that is being introduced with Season 4. This ended up being quite a bit different to initially what I expected. I think before we got information about the star units of the new units in Season 4, I kind of was expecting the Janissaries to be the 5-star unit, the golden era. I thought we were going to see another 5-star range, because Janissaries, if you think of the Ottomans, at least that's, to me, that's what springs to mind, the sort of musket armed Janissaries with their poles resting their sort of muskets. So, yeah, was kind of surprised to see them coming in at 3 stars, but I think considering that we had the Pavis and the Falconettis in Season 3, I think it's a good thing. I'm pleased they're not the 5-star unit, and instead we've got the Sealadors over at the 5-star. So, yeah, generally a positive thing. So, how do they perform actually as a unit? Well, let's have a quick look at the stats first, and we'll kind of see. So, in terms of base stats, they're relatively high. 3100 piercing armor penetration, 2800 piercing damage is certainly not too bad. But they do have quite a slow rate of fire. And generally, you're always going to be deploying them with these firepower formation. This is basically using the props to rest firearms on so they can shoot. And, you know, it's taking 5, 6, 7 seconds for them to deploy these to get their guns on the props. It's quite a slow deploying. And that kind of slows them down quite a lot. And you'll see later on they basically have absolutely zero block break ability. They can cause a small amount of knockback, but it seems to be pretty rare. Although I haven't gone down the block knockback focus tree. There seems to be 2 trees. I think in hindsight, if I was to do this again, I would be tempted to go the bottom tree. I went the top, which gave a bit of reload speed. Was the other significant one? Yeah, the accuracy, 20% accuracy increase. Although I've still found them, as you'll see later on, to be horrifically inaccurate. I was quite disappointed with their accuracy. So even with this extra 20% bonus. Whereas on the bottom line, you are getting basically increased damage on nail on the head, which is effectively, as far as I can tell, this firepower. This is their accuracy doctrine. So you're getting a 15% increased damage there, which is kind of interesting. You're also getting a rate of fire here of 10%, which basically counters that one there. And you're basically getting the chance of causing the knockback goes up. So it may be possible that this bottom line is equally as good or better than the top line. They do, of course, have these brutal firearms loaded with large projectiles that could daze enemies, which is obviously what we're talking about here. It doesn't really seem to work very well, in my opinion. I think the long shot of it is, I think they're going to be an interesting unit. Are they really going to be better than Iron Cap Arquebusiers? I'm not entirely convinced they are. Only a 20 stack unit. They don't really get a tremendous amount of defensive stats or anything. They're not going to be particularly tanky. Yeah, you can get the health up a chunk, but I have, remember, got a Arquebus Doctrine on here giving them 310. So if you take the Doctrine off, you're down into sort of the high 3000s on the hit points, and their piercing defense is pretty shocking at 280. They're going to basically take full damage from every tier of enemy ranged unit. And of course, they have no shields like the Pavis or anything like that. So yeah, so they're not going to stack up particularly well, I don't think, against other ranged units. The ammo lasts a reasonable amount of time, but that's partly because they just fire so slowly. They do get a semi-decent movement speed, but that's kind of negated by the long setup time. I think they're going to be okay. I don't think they're going to be a game-changing unit. I certainly don't think it's going to be a game-breaking unit. But anyway, let's actually hop into some footage anyway, see how they get on in battle, see what they're like shooting against blocking units, see what they're like shooting against heroes, and let's put that accuracy to the test. So unfortunately, we have a really hard time actually getting matches to set up on the PTR server, so it did limit the amount of testing we're able to do. But we managed to get a little bit of testing with these Janissaries against the shield wall, and yeah, generally it was pretty disappointing. You know, obviously they don't have any specific penetration block, but you'll see a lot of them are actually just flat out missing the wall. And I mean, at this sort of range, and we're not that far away, I mean, really we basically do absolutely no damage at all. It actually gives you a bit of an idea of kind of what their rate of fire is like, as well as kind of what their setup times are like. They take a fairly long time to deploy their little prop sticks before they actually start shooting. And yeah, very disappointing really against this situation. And they fire really quite slowly compared to some other musket units. They do a reasonable amount of alpha damage when they actually get their hits in, but in most of these situations they're just really not able to land any hits at all. And even at this range you can see from the tracers that some of them are actually managing to throw the shots into the ground, so they're not even managing to get every shot to really hit. And I'm certainly not really seeing any of this knockback mechanic going on. We've got the shields just to sort of disperse a little bit to see if that'll make any difference. You know, obviously when they turn their backs, we'll get some hits into them. But I mean, even in this sort of situation, we're really very minimal amount of hits, and we're not really racking up much in the way of kills. Obviously, it goes into cover commander. Kind of see up there. No real evidence of the knockback again, and yeah, not particularly a great amount of damage. General initial impressions are that it's going to be a pretty mediocre unit. Maybe on par with something like Ironcap Arquebusiers, but not really anything impressive. So the last thing we did with these guys was we just tried to test them against a hero. I thought it might be kind of an interesting accuracy test. So enemy hero, you know, maybe sort of 40 meters, 50 meters in front of us. Everyone deploys, full volley. Every single shot missed. All 20 shots missed. And I remember I've got the accuracy buff veterancy line. So that's with 20% increased accuracy. Eventually we start to land some hits and we do kill him, but you know, that was really kind of pretty disappointing, wasn't it? Really didn't achieve a lot of damage there at all. Unfortunately, these are the actually only 2 clips I managed to get on these Janissaries, but I thought it was still kind of interesting to see what they're a little bit like in combat in kind of terms of accuracy and in terms of their fairly mediocre rate of fire. I say, yeah, we had a bit of a hard time getting matches set up, so we were only able to get little bits of footage. But I also got some footage of the Sealadars, so we'll be kind of taking a look at them next. So hopefully we'll be having a video on them in a day or two. As before though, I'd really like to know what you guys think of these Janissaries. Do let me know in the comments down below. Of course, subscribe to the channel for lots more Conqueror's Blade content. Thanks for watching guys, and I shall see you all on the next video.